you guys could hear that wind. It is windy out here today. Oh man, I think I picked a bad day to come out here and film. Oh man. All right, well, let's see if I can get some drone shots even with a little bit of the wind, and we'll start talking about today's video, which is what kind of gear do I use to film these videos? All right. Well, sadly, it's too windy to be filming today outside, so I guess we're gonna unfortunately have to do it here. Okay, so I guess what I wanted to talk about today was mostly what kind of gear do I use and what am I using to actually make these videos. And let's actually kind of go over the camera gear that I actually use. Everyone knows that I use a Z9, which is my main camera. It's my main go-to weapon of choice. And my microphone setup recently has changed quite a bit. So I usually use the Sennheiser MK200, I think it's called. And recently I switched over to these DJI wireless transmitters, which I really enjoy. I really like the sound quality, the audio, and it just makes it so much easier to be moving around and whatnot. Let's kind of go over the main lenses and body that I use to create photos and videos for the socials. So let's go. Okay, let's go over my main body, which is my secondary body, which is a Nikon Z6. This is mostly just for video, a little bit of video and backup photo stuff. I don't really use this as the main body anymore. It's more of just a B cam or backup, really. Let's see. The is actually this guy, which is my 14 to 24 2.8 lens. It is a monster of an aperture and a monster of a lens. I love this thing. It's great for the wide shots and the vlogging and whatnot, but one downside is it's kind of heavy and it's kind of bulky, and you can't put neutral density filter or variable neutral density filters on it, sadly. And oh, before I forget, my new main use lens. Boom. 24 to 120 f4. This lens has such a huge zoom. I was actually using it to film the first part of this video initially with. I normally would carry a 24 to 70, but I love this little guy. It's just covers all the range that I need for travel, for photography, for everything. And since mostly I do landscape shots, I'm usually shooting at a high f-stop anyway. So normally f4 to f16 or 13 or f9 is usually the sweet spot I go for. So this guy's usually over here or in here if I'm using it. And I would then say, if I am going to be doing portraits, the one portrait lens I usually gravitate towards more than the 85 is definitely going to be the one that's on this camera right now, which is a 24 f1.4, I believe, from Sigma f-mount. And I just adapted to the Z9 just because it's very wide, it looks really nice, and gets that nice blurry background. Okay, so when I've been out vlogging as well, I usually use this guy. So let's actually set this down. We can start talking about it a little more. So I actually usually end up using my Mantis tripod, if not the main Sure tripod that I use to hold my camera. But typically I use this Mantis tripod with either the Z9 or my Z6 to kind of just get those wide shots. And if I'm pairing it up with fully decked out, it's the MK400 or 200. I don't know. I gotta double check. There you go. So simple, easy, really great portable little vlogging camera for all the Nikon users out there. God, you just need the flippy screen, and then come on, Nikon, just give us a little flippy screen with the next set of cameras and it'd be great. If I know I'm actually going to be using my drone, I usually go out and use my DJI Mini Pro 3 as well. So all the drone shots you saw this morning were from this guy right here. So this is kind of the everyday kit, really, I would say, that I carry with me if I'm gonna be out there making video or traveling and whatnot. So usually 2 camera bodies, one's a main one and one's a backup, and then just 2 microphones just in case. Yeah, that covers the main use of the body. Let's actually cover other gear that I use to actually film this video. So let me shower up because I'm still a little sweaty from my run, and let's talk about other gear like my camera, my laptop, and my computer that I use to edit these videos and other sort of little things. All right, hold on. Okay, all right, cool. Feeling refreshed after that shower. Let me clean up a little bit here. So let's talk about kind of the gear setup I have going on here when I'm actually filming here in the office. So let me actually see. Oh, cool. Okay, so you'll see that right here. All right, so here, that is the Z9 right here. And up here, you'll notice, is my Amaran 200X bicolor light. And then I usually use one of my computer monitors actually here to actually record myself. So, yeah. Very simple, very nice little setup and everything. So let's actually go over other gear that I make that I use as a content creator. As a content creator, you know, you have your stereotypical camera gear and everything, but other thing that people don't talk about as often, I would say, is actually the software that they use to make videos. So let's actually grab some of the stuff I use. Let me find my laptop for a second. Okay. So this is my 2017 MacBook Pro, I think, i7 with half a terabyte of storage. It's been everywhere with me. As you can see, it's got lovely travel stickers on it. I don't really use this for editing a video. I mostly use this actually for photos, and I just save backing up stuff when I'm actually traveling. My main editing machine is actually going to be my tower underneath the desk. So let me actually get that thing, and we can hopefully go over everything that's in there. So I'm going to raise the desk a little bit because I actually have to get it from underneath my desk. Oh my God. All right, let's get a good angle on here. Oh my God. Okay. This beast of a machine is my main editing storage as well, and I go through storage very quickly. I actually have to clean out this PC, but this thing is a monster. If you know anything about how I edit or what stuff I use to edit, I mostly use DaVinci Resolve, Photoshop, and for my own sort of stuff, since I am a developer, I work in the artificial intelligence space. If anyone knows why NVIDIA GPUs are so powerful, you understand that these are kind of a necessity when you're doing AI research. But anyway, when I'm doing my own thing or whatnot, I really like just having a monster of a PC. So yeah, let's set this guy down because this is rather big and taking up all the room. It was a lot of fun building that thing, but this thing is a monster. Parts alone are probably on the higher end of gaming PCs, but again, I don't really game, so it doesn't really serve me. Let's actually go through a newer angle I've been working on and kind of cover the last bit of gear, really, that I use to make these videos. All right, so hopefully this angle's working. I'm gonna be probably filming some stuff more against this nice, like, wall over here, I suppose. This is recovered wood or whatever. So let's kind of cover other gear that I think would be very helpful. Well, besides the Sure tripod, I recommend having a really heavy-duty tripod. Mostly, this is actually where the camera is on 24/7 from the office. So from that desk angle, you could actually see that I'm usually putting the camera on this guy right here. This is a Leofoto 74-inch height tripod with the Manfrotto video head here. I have used it for video productions, so you just need a very heavy tripod, especially when you deck out a camera. Like I sometimes deck out my Z9, fully deck it out for video production. You need something really heavy that's going to be able to bear that weight. Speaking more on the lighter side, If I'm just traveling and taking photos with no deliberate purpose of doing video work, I usually just pop in this really light Venro slim, I don't even know what the name of this, slim, it weighs less than a pound. And I usually just put my really light Z6 on there with a very light lens. But yeah, having a very light travel tripod is helpful. And if you're not gonna be traveling for, let's say, hiking or anything, I usually recommend having a decent backpack just for your gear. This is the Peter McKinnon travel bag that I've actually taken with me when I'm doing photo shoots or actually doing client work for video. It holds up most of my gear, and if I'm gonna be traveling, sometimes I take this with me, but I usually prefer the Shimoda bag. Backup mics. So besides the whatever, the other smaller Sennheiser mic I have two other mics I use. So if I'm gonna be doing more professional video, I usually use the Sennheiser, I believe it's MK14, 16, something along those lines, as the professional audio recording mic. So it's a studio mic that's gonna be very good for capturing voice, as well as that more natural tone. So any audio guys out there know that this mic is by far one of the best rated mics out there. Sometimes I do travel with a backup mic for the other camera. If I'm gonna be using both cameras, I do like to travel with an extra mic, and I usually go with the DD3 Pro. Very good because it has good gain and noise cancellation ability. The only thing is, it's pretty big compared to the size of the other microphone I have. As you can see, the footprint is quite huge difference. And yeah, I don't like having it or carrying it around with these microphones if I don't have to. But the sound quality is very noticeable. So I guess the last thing I'd really like to just say is that gear doesn't necessarily matter. But what matters about gear is that it shouldn't interfere with you making videos or being creative. Because if gear is getting in the way, well, that's kind of a sign that you should upgrade your gear or switch to something that's gonna work for you very well. Yeah, that's kind of what I just really wanted to cover. Just a very simple video, just covering the basics of kind of just the everyday gear that I use to make a lot of these videos. And not everything that I use will work for everyone, but it works for me. And that's usually what I encourage people to do, is find gear or systems that work really well for you. As an example, the PC is probably not best for everyone, but I like using DaVinci Resolve, and the GPU capabilities for DaVinci Resolve Studio works really well. I like using Nikon. Not everyone likes using Nikon. I like the image quality that it works, and it works really well for me. You know, I have two different backpacks that are probably maybe a little too expensive for most people, right? Find the gear that works for you within your budget, but make sure it's not getting in the way of you creating, okay? And if it is, sometimes the limitations are what allow you to be creative. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like the new setup over here. I might be filming more videos in this angle as well, not just the office angle. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what kind of gear you guys use to make videos. I know I'm more of a Nikon-centered guy, so yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, stay creative. Catch you guys in the next one.